Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So it's my great honor and privilege to welcome Her Grace Sri Radha Govinda Prabhu to our temple here in Dallas. So Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. She's a Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav degree holder, a Vaishnava Vedic astrologer and personal potential coach. She lives in Sri Mayapur Dham and regularly teaches Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam classes. She's director of Village of Love. It's an NGO charitable trust, and she travels for lecturing and presenting seminars. She's also an author of 7 books. And do you have any of your books with you here today?
It should be. There's a devotee who has it.
Okay, so it seems like Mataji will have some of her books available, so if you're interested in that, you can see her after the class. So I'd just like to ask everybody to please come up closer. There's a lot of space here in the front, and we're going to lock this door, so everybody will end up squished in the back. So please don't be shy. Come up close, and if you haven't already, please mute your cell phones or check just to make sure they are muted. And let's all give Mataji our undivided attention. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, good evening everybody. We will start with the invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukakaroti Vachalam Pangoram Gayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaurakata Damadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Shri Radha Kala Chand Ji ki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. So today we will be focusing on the glories of Lord Nityananda, and also because we just had Nityananda Trayodashi a few days ago, so the energy and the vibration of the mercy of Lord Nityananda is around us, so we can imbibe more of it. So we'll meditate on the glories of Ekachakra and meditate on the glories of Lord Nityananda. And for those of you who may not know who is Lord Nityananda, here in the altar we have the 2 brothers, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. The one on your left hand side is Lord Nityananda, and Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya are Krishna and Balarama. They are non-different. So today we'll go a little bit into the philosophical aspect of their glories. And I'll start with this particular verse about the mercy and the potency and the beauty and the grace of Lord Nityananda appearing on this earth that we are on. Ajanulambita bujha kanakavadato sankirtanaika pitaro kamalayatakshav Vishwambarau Dvijavarau Yugadharma Palau Vande Jagat Priyakkarau Karunavataro. So in this description, it is mentioned Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. He gives a commentary to Chaitanya Bhagavat written by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, and he actually describes about how human beings, we usually have short arms in comparison with the arms of the Lord. So, Ajanu Lambita Bujao. It's like they had such long arms that would touch their knees. It's a very beautiful form, very, very magnificent form of their lordships. And as you can see here, Lord Nityananda's shoulders, you can see his arms. So very, very long. And there are two words that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur emphasizes, Vishwambarau and Karunavataro. So these are the two brothers. Vishwambara is Lord Chaitanya, who bears, and Karunavatara, he's also the most merciful of incarnations. So these two represent Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, who come into this world to wake us up, to make us happy, basically, because we're kind of chasing our own tail, and they come and tell us there's something higher. So this is the translation. Can I have a volunteer to read this loud and clear, please? Please, go ahead. You can have the mic.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, whose arms extend down to their knees, who have golden yellow complexions, and who inaugurated the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Their eyes resemble the petals of a lotus flower. They are the maintainers of the living entities, the best of the Brahmanas, the protectors of religious principles for this age, the benefactors of the universe, and the most merciful of all incarnations.
Thank you. We have a mridanga, and we have somebody who can play as well. So here we have Lord Nityananda dancing ecstatically in kirtan, as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already taken sannyas, stands and watches Nitai dancing. Do we have a mridanga player? Somebody can play. You can, yeah. If you can, thank you, because it's a specific thing. You can. Yeah. We will be singing a particular song every few slides. Okay. So this would be the Koda Nitai song, and we would sing a paragraph and everybody would come along. Not right now, the next slides, yeah. Just getting ready for Sankirtan. You can sing along with me if you know this particular tune. Kanjarendra vininda sundara gatim Shri Padamindi vara Shreni Shama Sadambaram Tanurucha Sandyendu Sammardakam Premodghurna Sukanja Kanjanamada Jinnetra Hasyananam Nityananda Maham Smarami Satatam Bhushojvalanga Shriya. Can we have another volunteer to read the... Yeah.
I constantly remember Nityananda Prabhu, whose beautiful walking defeats the gait of the best of the elephants, whose body is decorated with a beautiful cloth of the color of multitudes of blue sapphires, who defeats the evening moon by his bodily luster, whose intoxicated rolling eyes and smile defeat the pride of the lotus and kanjana, wag-tailed bird, and whose bodily luster is his ornament. Hare Krishna.
This is from Gaura Govindachana Smarana Paddhati, verse 50. And for those of you who are getting accustomed to who is Lord Nityananda, if you're walking here, there's a little diorama, and from left to right, it's the fourth diorama. There's Lord Nityananda with his effulgent blue sapphire dress, and from the right, it's the second. So you can actually watch him. He was very extraordinary in his behavior, in his mood. He helped Lord Chaitanya. He opened the doors to access the most rarest, highest of all things, and that's the love of Godhead. So we are attempting to glorify somebody that has thousands of mouths, and we cannot adequately glorify him. So I'm going to quote like few verses here. We're all going to sing together. This is from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's mood is such that he actually recites these verses before he recites the glories of Lord Chaitanya. So it gives us the mood. If we want to understand Chaitanya, because without understanding Lord Chaitanya, we cannot understand Krishna. And if we want to understand Lord Chaitanya, we need to understand Lord Nityananda. And we cannot understand Lord Nityananda if we don't understand the devotees of Gauranga and Nityananda. So the mood is, Eteke karila age bhaktera vandana tayeva ache karya siddhira lakshana. I have therefore offered my prayers first to the devotees, as this is the secret for attaining perfection. So following in the footsteps of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, I also seek the blessings and prayers from all the devotees present here, so we can adequately meditate and remember the glories of Lord Nityananda. This is the holy abode of Ekachakra Dham in Navadvip Dham. This is where Lord Nityananda was born, Nityananda Janmasthan. So throughout this presentation, there will also be some images of these holy places so we can enter into the mood and visit them. Because there's one great advantage in Kali Yuga. What is that advantage? There are many disadvantages. I don't have to start about it, especially in America, right? Talking about taking student loans and then paying it back for 10 years, to struggling to get immigration, to taking a mortgage and paying that in 30 years, to waiting for, so I don't have to get started on all the struggles. But there's one very great advantage to Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, my grandmother often quoted this. She said, in Kali Yuga, you don't get bad karma for thinking bad. You have to do bad. Whereas in the other yugas, in Dwapara Yuga and Satya Yuga, even by just thinking something bad, you would get the consequences of doing bad. And in previous yugas, if you just think good, you don't get the benefit of doing good. You have to go and do that activity. So if you just say, I'm going to give 100,000, I'm going to feed 100,000 people. If you think like that in Satya Yuga, there's no benefit. But in Kali Yuga, if you think I'm going to feed 100,000 people, you immediately get the result of feeding 100,000 people. So what to speak of the glories of chanting the holy names of Gauranga and Nityananda? Because in Kali Yuga, we are very unqualified. Because we are manda sumanda matayo manda bhagyahi upadruta. We're very unlucky, we are unfortunate, we have less memory than our own ancestors actually. So in Kali Yuga, we have this discount. And the discount is just by thinking of visiting holy places, we get the benefit of being to the holy places. So today let's take advantage of visiting these holy places. Okay. Ishtadeva Vandam Moro Nityananda Raya Chaitanya Kirti Spure Yanhara Kripaya. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Nityananda Raya, for he is my worshipable Lord. By his mercy, the glories of Lord Chaitanya become manifest. Some of us think that Nityananda is an incarnation of Balarama. No, he's the source of all incarnations. He's Anantadev. He's Sankarshan, he's the source from which everything comes. And also the mercy of Lord Chaitanya manifests through Lord Nityananda. So Ekachakra Dham is about 3 hours from Mayapur Dham. Can I see a show of hands? How many of you have been to Ekachakra Dham? Wow, lucky, lucky. And how many of you plan to go? Oh, even more lucky. So this is, we will go more further into this. Sahasra Vandana Vandon Prabhu Balarama Yanhara Sahasra Mukhe Krishna Yashodama. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 1,000-headed Lord Balaram. His thousands of mouths are the abode of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories. So, how can I adequately glorify Anantadev, who has thousands of mouths with which he's glorifying Krishna? Actually, there's a pastime in which it is indicated how he was very unsatisfied having one mouth, because the glories of the Lord are so sweet. When we sing the holy names, it's so sweet. And he was so eager to do it multiple times. And that's why he manifested thousands of hoods, so he can glorify the Lord unlimitedly. Ananta in Sanskrit, the literal meaning is unlimited. So 1,000 is just a word for us to understand, but he has unlimited heads. And so because Krishna has unlimited glories, he has unlimited holy names. This is Anantadev Bhagavan ki Jai. Balaram ki, Sankarshan ki Jai. So from Sankarshan come also Shiva. You can see Sada Shiva is coming out up there with the arrows. So he's the source of everything. So we must not make that mistake. Some of us who come from Indian backgrounds, we think, yeah, Balaram is the incarnation. No, he's the source of all incarnations. He's original. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his purports, he speaks about that. How there is like Krishna and Balaram, they were biologically brothers too, whereas Chaitanya and Nityananda are not. I can't remember the Sanskrit words, but he basically says it's non-different. To prove that, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, to prove that they both appeared, to prove that it's not only biological connection, but also the I don't know if anybody remembers that. There's a Swarupa and I can check. Swaprakash, thank you. Swarupa and Swaprakash. So both are non-different. Swarupa is where he comes together as Balaram and Krishna Balaram, and Swaprakash is when he manifests like Chaitanya and Nityananda. Maharatna tuyena mahapriya sthane yashoratna bhandara Shri Ananta vadane. Lord Ananta's mouths are the storehouse of the gem-like glories of Lord Krishna, for valuable jewels are kept in a most appropriate place. And in the Vishnu Sahasranam, there's a verse, Suvarna varno hemango varangash chandanangadi viraha vishamashunyo grita shira chalaschalaha. So this is the verse that proves, amani manado it goes, of course. So this proves that Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. Because which other incarnation was taking grihastha life and he appeared in a golden form and he took sannyas later? There's no other incarnation. So even Vishnu Sahasranam, which was more than 5,000 years ago recited by Bhishma Dev on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, already predicted that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will appear. Right? Thank you. We will meditate on this beautiful song so we can invite Lord Nityananda's glories into our hearts, because our hearts are the temple. So we'll invite, and maybe before singing the Bengali, we can read the English so we can actually meditate on the English, on the Bengali. We can have a volunteer to pass the mic around. Maybe we can have, yes, please, you can take the mic, and we are reading the translation.
I'm singing.
If anybody who's reading, if you can be a little dramatic, okay?
I'm singing of great news and happy tidings. Lord Nityananda himself has opened a marketplace of the holy name in Surabhi Kunja.
Thank you. Next also. We can read the next one too.
The news of its great results is that he is selling the pure holy name in the marketplace for the price of only one's faith.
Whoa, that's a great deal offer. Better than any other Amazon offers that you'll ever get. We're all interested in deals, right? So Lord Nityananda And Khoda Nitai, he's the master and the owner of that marketplace. So he has that power to fix the price. That's right? Some of the companies make the price really, really low because they have the power. So here, Nityananda is saying, giving out the most precious thing, Shraddha Mulya, we're going to give it for price of faith. Faith is all we need. How amazing. So we can chant, yeah? Boro sukhe khabar gai, boro sukhe khabar gai, boro sukhe khabar gai, boro sukhe khabar gai. Surabi kunjete name hatte kuleche, Surabi kunjete name hatte kuleche. Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai. Boro mojar kata tai, boro mojar kata tai, boro mojar kata tai, boro mojar kata tai. Shraddha mulya shuddha naam se hatite bikai, Shraddha mulya sada naam se bikai. Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai. How many of us want to buy this? How many of us want this offer? Let's raise our hands so Lord Nityananda can see us. Haribol! Haribol! Khoda Nitai! Khoda Nitai! By the way, the word khod, anybody's familiar with this word? You know, we say khudafis, they say khudafis, khudafis. The same word actually comes from Khuda means God, the Lord, right? Lord or God, they call it. So the Khoda Nitai is like he's the owner, he is the boss of that marketplace. So we cannot chant the holy names unless we have that mercy and that permission. Unless you have the password, you cannot connect to the Wi-Fi. Okay. And this is the Kund, this is the waters where in Ekachakra Dham. So let us go there, take a few drops of water, put it on our forehead, put a few drops in our mouth. Haribo! Haribo. This is the holy place of Ekachakra where Pandavas 5,000 years ago, they visited too. And this is the fossil of the kneecap of the demon Bakasura. If you go there, how many of you have been there? It's called Pandava Tala. Anybody? Okay, Pandav Tala, there's a big tree, there's a little temple also there. And there's this fossil, this is the kneecap of this demon. And the pujaris say that if you bring fire near this kneecap thing, it smells really bad. It's a demon's fossil, so it smells really bad. And the right image here is the Kunti Deep. This is actually where Kunti Devi was lighting the ghee lamps. And the story goes like this. In this particular Ekachakra Dham, this is before Lord Chaitanya appeared, by the way. We're kind of rewinding the story 5,000 years ago. There was this big demon, Bakasura, and he was really very obnoxious, and he was irritating and agitating and causing a huge disturbance to all the villagers there. So Pandavas were actually visiting through. So they saw this, there was this big brother among all of them, Bhima, and they went to Kunti Devi and they requested, look, it looks like you have a really strong son. Can you ask him to get rid of this demon, fight this demon? And Kunti Devi told Bhima, go get rid of this guy, let the villagers be peaceful. So Bhima, because this demon would every day request a particular person from the village to be sent so he can eat them alive. That was his food, that was his breakfast, that was his lunch and the dinner. So everybody was always anxious. Which family will now decide to send their person to die? I mean, in our Hare Krishna movement, even the child becomes a devotee, the parents who are not yet devotees, they lament. Oh my God, my son is gone. Imagine sending the son to be eaten by a demon. And what to speak of, even if we are devotees, to send our child to Gurukul, to send our child to become a monk or a brahmachari, we suffer and struggle. So imagine the pain that these villagers were facing to actually sacrifice their child. And in order for the village to survive, they had to do that sacrifice. And Bhima our Bhimasena, he got rid of this demon. So this is a very holy place. So if you go there, you can actually see. This place is very special. I used to spend time, whenever I had my break time from work, I would go to Ekachakra and just chant 64 rounds and do nothing else, and go to this Pandav and meditate and pray for the courage to make sacrifices in life, just like the Pandavas did, just like the villagers did. Because devotees of the Lord always make some tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhed yasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam. Because we're all looking for happiness. It cannot be possible unless we do some tapas, some austerity. And let's not stop that austerity just at studies and job and surrendering to the boss. Can we also extend to Khoda Nitai? Can we also ask the Lord to accept our service of chanting with a pure heart? This is the Padmavati Kund. This is the mother of Shri Nityananda, Nityananda's mother. So this is the Padmavati Kund. There are many, many pastimes about little Nityananda playing around near this Pukur water pond. And Padmavati Devi would also do her chores there. They didn't have running water back then, so this was their water supply. This is the trees, the Pandava. This is old picture. But this is where the trees of the Pandavas lived. So it's a very ancient place. Jada Bhakta Vrindavasi, Jada Bhakta Vrindavasi, Jada Bhakta Vrindavasi. Adhikari dekhe naam beche daro kashi. Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai. Jadi naam kinbe bai, jadi naam kinbe bai, jadi naam kinbe bai, naam kinbe bai. Amar sange chalo mahajaner kache jai. Amar sange chalo mahajaner kache jai. Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai. We forgot to do the translation. You can do it.
Lord Nityananda, the proprietor of the market, seeing all the devotees become attracted, is selling them the holy name after bargaining with them. Oh brother, if you want to buy the holy name, then go with me. We must go to the presence of that great soul, Nityananda.
And who's saying this? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who wrote this particular song. He was actually sitting there. See, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a very important figure in our sampradaya. He actually would sit down, get all the people together, and this is how he would talk. He wouldn't talk like how I'm talking, boring, right? He would actually compose poetry on spot in Bengali to describe what he wanted to say. So he would captivate the minds of the dull-minded Kali Yuga brain by composing these songs. And he's saying, hey, there's a discount offer. You want to come? Lord Nityananda, there's a market of the holy name. You want that? The price is really cheap. It's just faith. You want it? Come with me. I'll take you there. We must go to the great presence of Lord Nityananda. And this is the tree where is the temple of Pandavas. Inside the temple, see, we are going further into the dham now. Jai Nityananda Ram ki, Jai Shri Pandavas ki, Kunti Maharani ki, Jai. And I know it's not time for prasadam yet, but just to give you a little glimpse of how devotees sit there and have prasadam. This is Mahaprasadam. Let's honor it mentally. Tumi kinbe Krishna naam, tumi kinbe Krishna naam, tumi kinbe Krishna naam, tumi kinbe Krishna naam. Dasturi loiba ami purna hobe kam. Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai, Boro Doyal Nityananda, Boro Doyal Nityananda. Shraddha Matra Loye Den Parama Ananda. Khoda Nitai, Khoda Nitai. You will buy the name of Krishna, and I will take my commission, and all of your desires will be fulfilled. Lord Nityananda is greatly merciful. Taking only one's faith, he gives the highest ecstasy. How many of us want that highest ecstasy? Nitai Gaur Premanande! We already feel it, right? Can you feel the energy just reciting the Nityananda Ram's name? There is this energy. If you want to feel it, it's there. Okay, so this is Nityananda Ekachakra Dham festival. All the devotees are sitting, waiting for prasadam. There's a huge festival every year. So Nityananda Trayodashi, millions of people come from different villages all over West Bengal and Orissa just to come. And even one night you spend in Ekachakra Dham, you really experience a magical thing. And many devotees have shared that Lord Nityananda comes in your dream. This is like a special benediction of that place. And my experience has been that when I go to Ekachakra and I start chanting, I just feel like I've attained everything in life. There's just like nothing left to, there's no hankering, there's no lamentation. It's just some great potency of that place. एक बार देख ले no एक बार देख के चक्षे जाल एक बार देख ले चक्षे जाल गौर बोले निताई देन सकल संभाल गौर बोले देन खोड़ा निताई खोड़ा निताई खोड़ा निताई खोड़ा निताई देन शुद्ध कृष्ण शिक्षा देन शुद्ध कृष्ण शिक्षा जाति धन विद्या बल न करे अपेक्षा खोड़ा निताई खोड़ा निताई खोड़ा निताई खोड़ा निताई If Nitai sees only once in the eyes while chanting the name Gaura, then he immediately gives all resource to that person. My Guru Maharaj often says that Lord Nityananda, he's so much in ecstasy. He's never sad. Nityananda, figure that. He's always eternally happy. And he's so happy. When we are very happy, what happens? What happens to our eyes? Yeah, we get water, right? The eyes get filled with water when we're extremely happy. So Nitai's eyes are always watery. So if we go and stand in front of him and ask for something, he doesn't actually witness if you're qualified, you're not qualified, if you're pure, you're not pure. The moment we ask him to give the highest benediction, he immediately gives. So my Guru Maharaj says, his eyes are so filled with tears that he doesn't see if we are qualified or not. So ask him, because if you ask Gaura, he will look at you and say, are you qualified? Come back tomorrow, come back next life. And he gives the pure teachings of Krishna to everyone and does not care for one's birth, wealth, knowledge and strength. And that's why Jagai and Madha even had a chance, right? It's because of Nitai. And one thing Ekachakra Dham is very famous for is the cows. There are, I don't know, millions, but it's impossible to not see cows in hundreds. I even took this video of continuous 15 minutes. I'm holding the camera with the guest house I was standing, where I was standing. I couldn't find it to put it on the thing, but you keep just holding it, and cows and cows and rows and rows and rows and rows of cows are going. So it's the place where they produce a lot of milk and yogurt and sweets. So it's a very, very special place. Mani chade maya jala, mani chade maya jala, mani chade maya jala. Grihe tako bane tako nata ke janjal. Khoda nitai, khoda nitai. আর নাইকো কালির ভয়, আর নাইকো কালির ভয়। আচান্ডালে দেন নাম নিতাই দয়াময়। খোড়া নিতাই, খোড়া নিতাই। ভক্তি বিনোদা কি কয়, ভক্তি বিনোদা কি কয়। নিতাই চরণ বিনা আর নাহি আশ্রয়, নিতাই চরণ বিনা আর নাহি আশ্রয়। কোডা নিতাই, কোডা নিতাই, কোডা নিতাই, কোডা নিতাই, কোডা নিতাই, কোডা নিতাই। Who likes to read? This is the last translation. Yes, back there.
Now giving up the illusory snare of Maya, either remain in household life or in the forest as a sannyasi, for no more troubles remain.
Jai! Doesn't matter if you're in America, you're in India, you have a job, you don't have a job. Doesn't matter on the immigration status. Na thake janjal. Next. I think Prabhu Mataji there had a hand up.
There is no more fear of the age of Kali. The merciful Nityananda gives the holy name to even the Chandals. Bhaktivinoda calls out, except for the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, there is no other shelter.
Jai! Chandalas are the dog eaters. Even those people who are dog eaters. You know, there are dog eaters, snake eaters, different kinds of, yeah, all kinds of. Prahlad Maharaj also says, he says this, you know, the 10th verse, he says, Naivodvije paraduratyada Vaitaranyas. He says, I'm not afraid of this Vaitaranya river. You know, in the hellish planets, there's a Vaitaranya that we all have to cross. That's why we do the Shraddha. We do the Shraddha so that the soul, it's easier for the soul to cross the Vaitaranya. So Prahlad Maharaj says, Naivodvije paraduratyaya Vaitaranyas. I'm not afraid about that. Tadvirya gayana rasamritam agnachitta. Why he's not afraid? Because he's absorbed in chanting the holy names of the Lord, and he's absorbed. He's so absorbed that he's like, I'm not afraid of that. In fact, Yamadutas, this is a story about Yamaraj once comes and tells the Yamadutas, hey guys, you all look very equipped with the rope and everything, you're going to go and capture somebody, where are you heading to? And the Yamadutas tell Yamaraj, boss, good mornings. We're going to Bhuloka, we're going to Earth. There are a lot of nonsensical people there. So we're going to go bring some of them. And Yamaraj says, come here. And then he whispers in the ear of the Yamaduta. He whispers, he doesn't say loudly. He says, be careful, don't go here and there. Be careful if somebody is chanting Nitai Gaura's name, don't go near them. Because you know what? I don't have jurisdiction over that place. So he doesn't declare loudly, he declares in the ears of the Yamadutas. One thing I want to mention now, that later at the end, there will be a little like, there's a horror story kind of a situation. The Yamadutas, they are assistants of Yamaraj. They bring justice, right? So it is described in the Garuda Purana also that those people, the Pitris, the forefathers, ancestors who don't get pinda, if we don't do the yearly sacrifice to them, those people will, from Pitri Loka, they'll go to Yamaloka and become Yamaduta's assistants, because they get kind of deformed and they kind of lose how they look. Their shape goes off and they don't have any more punya to enjoy in Pitri Loka. But they also don't have bad karma to come down, so they actually go and assist Yamaraj there. So also for those of us, we make vows to our spiritual masters and don't follow. I don't want to say what happens, because this class is not meant for that, but there is a connection about it. So Ekachakra Dham ki! Yay! So as we proceed further, there is a little calf in Ekachakra. I do want to show a disturbing image, because I want to also show reality. The cows do experience a lot of distress because they're innocent beings. They are holy, but they're innocent. They cannot discriminate. They're like babies. They cannot discriminate what to eat, what not to eat, and they're always hungry. And the lands are becoming more and more occupied by buildings. So these cows are left to wander around, and many times, both in Mayapur and many villages around West Bengal, and even in Vrajdham and in Navadvip Dham, these cows end up eating plastic. And that really does a lot of harm to them. So there are so many NGOs that are working towards protecting this incident from happening, because if this happens, these people who keep these cows don't have financial aid to care for these cows. That's it. Kind of the end of the cow is not so nice. So this is like a request that if you can contribute on any of these Goshala projects, if you can donate to the cows, a lot of your miseries will also go away, and also the cows can get some help. Okay, now we're moving on to what's coming next, because we are just coming from Lord Nityananda's birthday, and we're entering to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. In a few days is the appearance day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And guess who is sitting here? Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was a district magistrate. So you can see him sitting with his nice turban and everything. They were dressing so nicely. Both Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta. I mean, in this particular picture, they're in very renounced thing, but we will see very, very well dressed, both father and son. They had a class. Sometimes Hare Krishna devotees, we wear these weird jackets, these hoodies. We go around in the streets, and it doesn't do justice to our sampradaya, our parampara. Gauranga Nityananda always so well dressed with beautiful ornaments, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada always elegant, nice clothing, nice chadars. So devotees should also enjoy wearing good clothing to represent our parampara and sampradaya. So those of you who may see devotees like that, that's not the cultural thing, it's more comfort thing that we just wear something and go around. Sometimes we wear one socks to one leg, another socks to another leg, right? We wear t-shirts. I lost my head in Vrindavan. No, we don't wear head. It's a joke, you're supposed to laugh. So we have these nice t-shirts, right? I lost my heart in Vrindavan, which is a very nice thing. So I was kind of I was twisting that, saying I lost my head in Vrindavan, to say that sometimes we do things a little not as our gurus teach us. This is the mother, Bhagavati, mother of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So I just want to meditate and prepare our consciousness for this auspicious appearance of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. See, I'm an astrologer, and I study all these days. There are energies, Nityananda Trayodasi has a specific energy. If we chant on that day, we give charity on that day, we do kirtan on that day, the potency is much, much more. You get 10,000 times more benefit. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, on that day we do some fasting, we meditate, we chant, we get amazing energy. So these days, these appearance, disappearance, it's not like, "Arey, aata rehta hai, jata rehta hai, what is this?" It's like discounts. Right? When we see on Amazon 50% off, our attention goes, right? Oh, wow. So these are the days that we get discounts. So there is Samadhi. Those of you who've been to Yogapeeth in Mayapur, how many of you have been to Yogapeeth in Mayapur? So you may not be aware, but there is the Nashinga temple behind, and there's Gaur Gadadhar. Under them is the Samadhi of Bhagavati Devi. They don't have any board, nothing there. It's only by historical talk that we know that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur actually made a Samadhi under those deities because she wanted Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to establish Nrsingadev. Because back then, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur he's known as the Lion Guru. He was very fearless. Because Bhakti Vinod Thakur had requested for the ray of Vishnu. Wow, I wish we all could request that before we conceive a child. Somebody empowered, somebody potent. Usually we get children based on our consciousness. Our consciousness expands and then we get children. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur asked for the ray of Vishnu. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Lion Guru, was born. And just before, a few days before Bhakti Vinod Thakur left his body, left this world, he gave an instruction to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to spread the mission of Rupa Goswami, to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took that very seriously and he dedicated his life to doing that. And Bhagavati Devi was also an extraordinary mother. She not only requested him to propagate the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but she also gave very intelligent ideas to protect the movement. So it was her idea to establish Nrsingadev because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur back then used to have a lot of opposition. There were people who wanted to kill him, people would come and attack him. They were doing a lot of harm. They were trying to do a lot of harm. So she suggested to invite Nrsingadev. And the moment that he did it, he was able to do only after the mother left. But after he did it, all the opposition started to fade away. They all started losing power. It's like, that's why parents, what we teach our parents, the children imbibe that. Not what we tell them, what we are. And Bhagavati Devi was a great example of that. Somebody who would chant and... Okay, I'll go quick because I have many more pictures to show you all and share the story. Now we are taking a journey. Let's meditate on entering Surabhi Kunj, where Bhakti Vinod Thakur lived. This is the song that we just recited from Koda Nitai song written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And we are entering Surabhi Kunj. This is the holy place where he lived. And I'll tell you a little pastime of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was a very small boy, like 3 years old. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bhagavati, they were very strict about children not eating anything other than prasad. So one day, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, small baby, right, 3-year-old, he didn't know the difference between bhoga and prasad. So he took a mango and he ate it. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur was very upset. He said, "This is bhoga. This was not offered to Krishna. Why did you eat it?" And little boy, Bhaktisiddhanta actually felt so much guilt and remorse. And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Krishna, that I ate something that you had not offered." And he made a lifelong decision to never eat mangoes again. And in fact, he kept that promise. He never ate mangoes in his life. So that is the ray of Vishnu we are talking about. That's his potency. If you want determination, you want children to be determined, read about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Let's get his mercy. And this is the Surabhi Kunj temple. There is a temple there now. And from not this place, but there is another place coming. This place, Surabhi Kunj, Bhakti Vinod Thakur from his home would watch over this place, what we now see, the TOVP, and he would envision. And he said, Adbhut Mandir. He would envision that there would be this great temple of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace being built. And there was nothing there. In fact, during the time of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there were tigers, there were wild animals living in the forest. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he had a highest possible job for an Indian person back then. And this place in east of India was actually the capital of the kingdom. I will show you shortly, but so it was a very important political place as well. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur had particularly requested to be posted in this remote place, Navadvip. And back then we didn't have facilities for transportation like now, so they put a railroad right in front of Bhakti Vinod Thakur's home. You have seen it, right? How many of you have seen the railroad in front of Bhakti Vinod Thakur's home? Like, wow, that was the power under the British rule. Bhakti Vinod Thakur had the highest possible position for an Indian bodied person, that they put a railroad in front of his home so he could come to work in time to do his district magistrate job. So he had this amazing vision to be very inclusive, and he was very, very skilled how he was dealing with the Britishers, and he was prolific. He wrote more than 100 and I can't remember how many books. More than 100 books. Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And back then, by the way, there was no AI, okay? There was no AI, there's no editors, there's no computer. I mean, literally write with their ink and the pen. There was not even ball pens, there's no gel pens. And he wrote many novels, poetry, very innovative preacher, thinker. This is in Surabhi Kunj, where they have kirtans every year. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Parikram devotees go, have kirtan. This is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur with the team back then, right in the middle. You see how elegantly he's dressed. He's very elegantly dressed here. This is the Bagh Bazaar. This is the temple in Kolkata. See, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very unique in his approach to following instructions of the parampara. So his Guru Maharaj told him, first instruction, don't go to Kolkata. And the first thing he did was he went to Kolkata. But then he later explained how to understand the mood of the spiritual master is very important. What does it mean, don't go to Kolkata? Means there's association in Kolkata, right? Bhakti Siddhanta never actually stepped into Kolkata in the context of the instruction. He never got contaminated. He didn't go there to take association. Like you all here have come to America. One thing is you take on the culture of American culture. Another thing is you try to be like a lotus. You keep your culture, don't take association, try to give association. Prabhupada once said that, They asked Prabhupada, why are you not learning to eat with a fork? Why don't you learn our culture? Srila Prabhupada said, I've come here to teach, not to learn. So he came there to teach. So this is Bagh Bazaar. This is very famous, for those of you who know the history of ISKCON, if you know the history of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. This is a marble temple, and today marble is like marble, but back then marble, huge, it was like gold, This was the marble temple over which his disciples, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples, fought over it. They all wanted a room that was facing Ganga, and they didn't get the mood of the Guru. So we might wear the nice sari and cover our heads and wear nice big tulsi or nice dhoti, we may do the externals, but are we aligned to Lord Chaitanya and the Guru is a different matter. So here we see that this temple was, all this fight was going on, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur at one point made a statement that's about this particular Bagh Bazaar temple. He said, sell all this marble and print books. So he valued knowledge over property, and people were all deciding, I want this room, and when Bhakti Siddhanta dies, I want that room. They were all fighting. And even today, if you go there, it's all like rooms of different gurus, and they didn't focus so much on preaching. They started becoming, so we should also be careful when we are in America to not become too attached to this and that and temporary tangible acquisitions, and keep our goal in focus. The destination is that side, not that side. So we should keep our destination goal very clear. But some good things about this place is also there's an exhibition indicating all the activities of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If you go to Kolkata, if you have a stopover, you can go and see. They made a new exhibition, like I think a couple of years ago they made this. So this is the Bag Bazaar temple from the outside, sky view. And this is the exhibition thing. They made the whole story and the pastime. And over there, there's also the Ulta Danga. Can you guess who else is in this picture besides Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Prabhupada. Where is Prabhupada? Show me, Gopal. Can you stand up and show me where is Prabhupada in this photo? Help him. Audience. That's it. Yes, Srila Prabhupada ki. So this is the place that he met his spiritual master for the first time. And the good news is, this property is now ISKCON's property. Haribol! So it's the Ulta Danga. It's called Bhakti Vinod Asan. This is the deities there, Radha Gandharvika Giridhari. And this is the exhibition, that's the picture. This was the old place. This is how it looked 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You want to see the renovated thing? Sure? How many of you want to see the renovated, this place? Here, Hariva! Hariva! So they made an exact replica of where Srila Prabhupada met Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Just as the image depicts, there's a brick wall in the back. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur spent 12 years in this building. 12 years. It's a long time. And my husband and I happened to go exactly in the moment that they were digging the place, and they were preserving every single stone to put it back. This is not like new. They put back the same thing, and we were so fortunate that we got this, we got a little piece of brick and a stone from that place. The temple, we gave a donation and we got a little thing, and we were building a house at that time, so in the center of our home we put it. So we have the stone from the place of Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's meeting place. And this was how it was when we went. The image, they were taking it down, and this is how it is now. Beautiful, no? So please don't miss, when you go to Kolkata, you can visit Ulta Danga. And one last story, and then we can, how many minutes do I have now? 6:30. Oh, okay. So can I just wrap up with this 1 minute? Okay. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, this was a time during Mayapur floods. By the way, this is a picture of today, but once he was very disturbed that he couldn't arrange for milk offerings. And he was just thinking, what do I do? And he just said, why am I thinking like this? Krishna has his arrangement, and it's flood time. It's very difficult for the milkman to come. Let me just keep quiet. And suddenly, Bhakti Siddhanta walks out and he hears that there's a big boat that came with a lot of milk offerings, like loads of liters of milk in the flood time. Somebody brought it. And it was the king of that time who had been inspired by Lord Nityananda. And he sent him a lot of kheer and yogurt, and all the devotees were very happy. They were all eating, and Bhakti Siddhanta was very remorseful. He said, I should not have desired that. But I just had some pictures to show how that time of the floods, even today it continues. These are the photos of how it began in Mayapur. This is the empire that existed. It's hidden with mantra, and so it's under earth. It's just like 20 minutes from Mayapur Dham. If you go, you can actually see this place. This was the kingdom. There's a Sena dynasty, this here in the maroon side. And yeah, okay, so that's That's the last story. Thank you. I have many more slides, but for the next time. Thank you very much. Shri Nityananda Ram ki. Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Harinam Sankirtan ki.
Well, let's give a big round to Sri Radha Govinda Hari. Hari Bol.